This episode of the Nerd Cave podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/nerdcave. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. All right, let's move on to some little bit of gaming stuff. Derek Daniel also asks, he asked for my reactions to Nintendo discontinuing the NES Classic, but maybe, if the rumors are true, putting out a SNES Classic this year.
I saw that and thought of you.
The NES Classic being discontinued, not really surprising. I think Nintendo poorly handled that thing from the start. And they said it was not meant to be a long-term thing, but I don't understand why it cannot be. Because you had the demand for it.
Yeah, I still want one.
And I mean, maybe they've learned from their mistakes and they won't do it with the SNES. I mean, this is going to be one that I will track down way more aggressively than the NES because the SNES is like that was my console growing up.
I played it the most. I mean, I loved the NES, but I mean, if you're talking about the time that we grew up in, it was ruled by the SNES.
Oh, absolutely. And it had so many great games on it.
Did.
I don't know how they can limit it to just 30. I mean, you've got your no-brainers like Mario World, Link to the Past, so many great RPGs, Ninja Turtles. I mean, I just hope they don't give each store like 3.
What if they made like the memory capacity just a little bit bigger and they went to like 60 games? Because like you said, I mean, I know I had a crap ton of games that I played on my SNES.
I mean, they should. And what would be cool, I don't think this will happen, but what if they included NES games on it?
Since they're discontinuing the NES.
And I mean, this could lead to next year they do an N64 classic. Hey, it could happen.
It could, and oh my god. Because, like, I was learning the game on the NES. I kind of understood what I was doing with the SNES. But god, did I enjoy the crap out of my Nintendo 64. Mario World, Ocarina of Time,
Shadows of the Empire, Rogue Squadron.
Oh my god, I even enjoyed freaking pod racing.
The pod racing was not a terrible game.
So many good things.
Oh yeah, you had Pikmin was GameCube. You had Mario Kart 64,
Star Fox,
Star Fox 64, best Star Fox game of all time in my opinion.
Smash Brothers.
Yep.
WCW versus NWO.
Yep. NWO Revenge, WrestleMania 2000. A lot of good games.
GoldenEye.
Oh yeah, Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Well, that's made by Rare, so I don't think they can put that on there.
No.
Oh, you remember that game Yooka-Laylee that was coming out? This like the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay.
We've talked about it on the podcast in the past. It came out and I bought it. I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
Even the cover looks kind of like the Banjo-Kazooie cover.
You'll have to tell me how it is.
I'm excited to play it because that's like a top 10 all-time favorite game for me.
What system?
Banjo-Kazooie. PS4.
Okay.
It's for PS4 and Xbox One.
Okay.
So I got it for the PlayStation, of course, because I do not own a Xbox.
You weren't here when I announced it on the podcast, or I think you might have been. But I am now an owner of a PlayStation.
I saw that. Yeah. Welcome to the family. A few more questions here. Jake asked, where is Robbie's cooking segment and why have we not done another?
Well, we did one, but it didn't make it very far because it was... I need to make something that lasts longer than what it did because it was super short and it was not the greatest. But I'll come up with something that might not be a dessert. It might just be me making, some kind of pasta or something. So we'll see.
Do it for the 4-year anniversary show, which one we'll announce details on that at a later date. Let's see. Steve Wise asked, any good movies in pre-production? Yes.
Yes.
This is actually something that I'm excited to talk about because Steve is, for those who don't know, Steve Wise is the programming director of Pensacon. He is directing a short film called Sur'vi, which is filming in June. And one of the cast members will be Jason Robbins, my co-host on Nerd Cave Retro. And I will be on crew for that. I'll be running sound, so really excited to do that. I think shooting tentatively is in the first weekend in June.
Okay.
So really excited to do that. You know, been putting some irons in the fire as far as the film stuff goes. So we're just kind of waiting.
Yeah, anything I can do to help you and Steve, let me know. There's one that I kind of was glancing over at earlier today. It's a movie called Smart House. I know when I think of Smart House, I go back to the Disney Channel, the Smart House movie they had on there.
Oh, yeah.
About the kid won the house. But this one, in a digitally connected world, a family in the witness protection program is placed in the custody of a state-of-the-art a computer-run house that's, able to do stuff, open doors, and do everything like that. Apparently, I cannot pronounce this word. I thought I could.
Let me see. Autonomous.
Yep, that word. When a group of assassins locate the family, the Smart House goes into a lethal defense mode. So it's kind of taking what I loved about Smart House and cranking up the voltage about 10,000 volts. So, I mean, that looks like something that could be cool. I don't know who, because it didn't really say who it's being made by or everything like that. I'm sure I could find out if I, searched it up a little bit. But just the idea of that sounds like pretty cool. Like,
for sure.
It's kind of like Smart House, Home Alone, and, some super big action movie like comes together.
All we need is Kevin McAllister.
Young Kevin McAllister.
Yeah. Just pluck him from Home Alone and put him in this movie.
We don't want, what's his name, coming back now. He kind of looks very creepy.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Little Macaulay Culkin.
Ugh.
Last question from Nick Caputo. What could Derek Daniel do to finally get a push to get off mid-card status? Adam Gumbert says nothing. If you don't know, it's a wrestling term. Mid-card is somebody who's like wrestles in like the middle of the show and isn't really relevant. I think, with me not being around as much, he could use that as an opportunity.
To rise through the ranks.
Yeah.
Because we've had Allie on, a few times. So, I mean, me and Zach's talked. We're not opposed to having, guest spots and stuff like that. So, I think we've already had Derek Daniel on once.
He might have been on the week after I left.
I think so.
Something like that.
So.
No, just you gotta take your opportunities when they get here, sir. So.
Get on your knees and start pleasing.
I think maybe be a good Intercontinental or a U.S. champion. Then maybe he'll occasionally.
I mean, we're not gonna give him a huge belt, but one of those little tiny ones.
Yeah,
we'll cut him off a sliver and be like, "There you go."
Yeah, something like that. Is there anything else you want to plug, Mr. Rawls?
I think that's about it for everything on my end. Guys, if you want to find us on Facebook, we are all over Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all under Nerd Cave. I mean, especially on Facebook, if you want to be a part of a great, thriving nerd community. I know we post there regularly. Derek Daniel also does, and a lot of our other good friends. You just go to our group. It's the Nerd Cave group. A lot of great people there.
Also, Twitter, we're at Nerd Cave Vids, and Instagram at Nerd Cave Vids as well. If you want to follow us on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/nerdcave. If you want to get early access to the show comes out for free on Friday, but if you want it early, you can get it on Mondays. Just go over to patreon.com/nerdcave. You get all other kinds of cool exclusives as well. Might even throw a cookie in at some point. What else is there? Oh, there's other podcasts that we do. Mondays, we have the Nerd Cave Retro Show with myself and Jason Robbins. Tuesday is my solo show, The Derek Diamond Experience. Wednesdays, during football season, we have Fantasy Football for Nerds. Thursdays, we have Battle of the Brands, our wrestling podcast. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus for the last few weeks, but we'll be back this week. Fridays is this show, the Nerd Cave Podcast. And on Saturdays, we have our friends over at the Pop Culture Palette.
Always a mouthful. Anything else, Derek?
Yeah. Audible. Yes. Audible, for those of you who are listeners of this podcast, Audible offers a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Finally finished Bloodline, the newer Star Wars book. I don't know if you've read it.
I have not.
Very good. It's takes a little bit to get going. It's Leia-centric, and it deals with a lot of what happens with the Senate between Jedi and Force Awakens.
Okay.
Very, very good. There's a lot of stuff that goes down that you may not think about.
That's very
So
interesting.
you should definitely check that out. Go to audibletrial.com/nerdcave to get your free audiobook download and 30-day free trial. And I believe that is it. But it was good coming back on.
It was great to have you. You know, anytime you want to come back in, just stop on by and say hey.
Absolutely. No, I'll be back for sure whenever we do the 4-year anniversary show, which will be sometime in May. So stay tuned to social media for that. And I believe that's it.
Well, guys, thank you for staying and hanging out with us. This has been Robbie.
And Derek.
And that's how a cookie crumbles.